This is Out Loud and Laughing. What is up, Chosen Fam? Welcome back to another episode. Today, we literally have the masterpiece back in the studio. If you've spent any time in the Florida drag scene or have scrolled through Out 100, you know that our guest doesn't just walk a stage, she commands a movement. She is a singer, a storyteller, and a woman, or a man, who knows that sometimes the most radical thing you can do is put on a pair of lashes and stand your ground. Please welcome back my friend, the legendary, the incomparable Miss Bouvier. Hey, welcome back,
Wow.
Eric.
Can I just get that soundbite for the rest of my intros, for the rest of my shows this year? Just that plays.
We will package it up.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much.
You just record it and play it as you walk into a room.
Just hit play at the microphone, let it play as my intro.
That's hysterical.
Thank
Well,
you.
You were one of our first guests, and we have been busy. We know you have been busy, so I think we should just get to business now.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be back. Thank you for having me back.
Yes, we are so happy to have you back. We love our verse guests. So you're going to be Eric and Miss Bouvier, depending on the questions that we ask. So we love
There
it.
you go. I'm here for it.
What's amazing, though, is we've continued to follow your journey, and it does feel like you've hit this incredible stride where your art and your activism is perfectly fused, right? You were recently named Out 100 as a storyteller.
I know.
And you've spoken about drag being your armor. Like, when you're getting into face, is there a specific moment when Eric kind of fades out and the protester, Miss Bouvier, takes over?
That's such a good question. I have always felt I am sort of transformed when the eyelashes go on, because I it's a weird thing, but I've always had a weird thing about putting glasses on or eye makeup. And for some reason I just got so used to doing the eyelashes that when they're on, I don't have that reaction anymore. It's sort of this weird nod from some universe. It's I got you. We're okay. And when the lashes go on, it's I feel like I'm transformed and in her. She's taken over.
And, it's really funny that you mentioned that, because I get the pleasure of watching you get ready live sometimes on your Facebook feed, and I like to pop in and say hello and stuff. And there is this once the eyelashes come on, you could see sort of the mannerisms start to change, and I don't know, it feels like that's the moment.
I know. It's so lonely back there. I have this dressing room in this great house where she's got her stuff on the other end of the house, but it gets lonely when you're back there doing the makeup and kind of and also I have so many friends and people who keep up with me from across the world that's a little way for them to check in and say they're doing good and see I'm doing okay. And yeah, so I love doing those live streams.
And, you talk about the support that you have, the global support that you have, and a lot of them come to this beautiful home you have built and community you have built down in South Florida over at Wilton Manors. Can you talk? This has been such a big year. I mean, I don't even we will get political, but, you serve as the voice as to a lot of things that people who don't sort of have a voice or a platform, you get to say those things. Can you talk what that year's been like this year, and some of the things that you've been included in over there in Wilton Manors? We know that the big Florida, the sidewalk crosswalk painting project was big. I knew that you were active there. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. First, I'll start with the great news, which is that Fort Lauderdale is the only city in the entire state that still has their rainbow crosswalk. So thank you to those amazing leaders and lawyers and people who, sure, I rang the bell, but they're the ones filing the briefs and going to court. And so bravo to them and for keeping that. And not just the rainbow one, but there's other artistic ones that were cited in the removal, and we still have those as well. So that's a really important thing to acknowledge. But, removal of the crosswalks really just comes down to removing visibility, and, drag is impossible to ignore. So I just think that a lot of my sisters in drag feel like when we put that on, it's our job to say, wait a minute, that's not right. And you're going to pay attention to me because I'm commanding this space. This is the space drag is in right now. And I have your attention just because of how crazy I look or how jarring I am in your gender identity, whatever you're thinking you are assessing in the moment. So, I was very, very honored that people responded. I was glad that people showed up. Bart bar owners literally said, "Hey, everyone, take 5 minutes, go down to the bridge and protest with Miss Bouvier. We'll hold your seat for you." And that really meant a lot to me to know that they didn't just see us as like the pink dollar. You know what I mean? Like they see us as we are a community and they made them go down and demonstrate that. When I was in LA, I mean, to be in that room about 100 was like I think that my work is so small and so community focused and but the to see these movers and shakers who are on such a national platform and to share a stage with them was just like really humbling. And they actually said, this is one for your clips right now, because they said you could put your stuff over there. And I was like, okay, in this dressing room. And they said, yeah, your Kathy will be in there. And I was like, Kathy Griffin? I'm sharing a room with Kathy Griffin? What? So like that was just like it was just
That's
so
Yeah.
wild.
wild. It was so wild to like, like knock on the door, and be like, I'm so sorry, Miss Griffin. I just need to put my lipstick back on.
Yeah.
It was just the
Are you
craziest
are you
thing.
dressed?
Yeah, I like, so sorry. And then like, it was a big surprise that Sia was coming and, just to be in that hubbub and see her honor Kathy and then have Kathy get up and speak. And Miles from Boots just gave this beautiful speech and tribute. And it was just like everyone left feeling so motivated. And I think everyone's sort of holding on to that. So I just think that's a long way of saying like it all sort of came to the point at Out 100. And I still text some of my class of 2025 people, and we just kind of all, hey, bravo, I saw you did this, great job. Like we're kind of all supporting each other.
I love that. I mean, we need support now more than ever, especially within our own
Yes.
community.
Uh,
So, I mean, I am not in Florida right now. Like I have moved out of Florida, and I feel like both you and John are in slight bubbles in Florida, which those bubbles are getting very small and smaller
yeah,
by the day and year.
that is true.
Can you give a little bit of a just a description of like what's the vibe in Florida right now? Like, because again, you're in these bubbles, but you still feel it, and like how for people that just read about it, like what is it right now?
Um, it's where we live is again just like this, like you said it perfectly, a bubble. It is shrinking. But I do feel that that shrinking is necessary for it to then combust and multiply outward. I do think that that is the ebb and flow of politics and time. And we can't just always live in this utopia of happiness. We have to have the pressure to remind us, wait a minute, you're coming too close, and that's not going to happen anymore. So, and that's happening. So to answer your question is we're noticing a much more global approach to things. It's not just Wilton Manors. It's people raising money for the Stonewall raising of the flag that just came down and now is back up, thank God. And people raising funds for national campaigns and elections. And I'm seeing that more. Whereas sort of maybe 4 or 5 years ago, there was a comfort and sort of maybe a complacency that felt like we're doing okay. And then all of
Mm.
a sudden, we're really not. And so, like I said, I think it's sort of people are approaching things and realizing it's bigger than just their comfort zone and Wilton Manors.
I think you bring up a good point. For those who have sort of sat back complacent, almost quite voiceless or have fallen voiceless, such an important reminder that our voices do matter. Um, and you're doing this work on the daily, but it transcends that, right? And so speaking of sort of this, I really enjoyed also that you talked about it needing to sort of come together before it comes back, before it combusts back out,
Mhm.
right? And so in the time that that's happening, we all sort of get into our creative selves. I know I do. And we have to talk about what you're working on because you've now launched this solo art installation called Visibility is the Protest.
Mhm.
It features the actual pieces you've worn to protest, which I've seen you do, and we could talk about your stylist because I know that he's just amazing. But with a lot of these proceeds also going to Naples Pride with your work there being amazing. So for those who can't be there in person, um, talk to us about the story that one of those outfits tells, and what does it say that words just can't?
Wow, that's just a great question, and that is the same thing I asked Dan Gagnon, who is my longtime friend and stylist and just everything, clothing and style and wig. I actually call him my Bob Mackie because he's just so brilliant in everything he does. Um, I actually asked a similar question. I said, "How can we, through the drag, make sure that we're making enough of a statement, not just by showing up, but also what we're wearing and
Mm.
what can we create a conversation about?" Every time I've done something artistic, I always want to have a conversation about it. I want people to feel joyful. I want people to feel empowered. I want people to question something or leave learning something maybe with a little more empathy than what they came in with. And so for example, the SB 1438, which is the anti-drag and anti-trans performance, really the regulation about restricting performances to 18 and up, and had to be inside. It's now back in play here in our state. And when it first came out, uh, he just said, "Why don't we print it?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Here's a link on Etsy. Send the document to this fabric printer and have the law printed on fabric. And I'll make a drag outfit out of this coat. We'll make a coat. And you could wear this as like, these words have meaning, and I'm wearing your words, and I'm going to show you how what we can do with those words, and we can turn them into something else meaningful, and we can take your words of hate and make it something that's fabulous and a conversation starter and educate people." That code is what got me in the very first issue I ever was in with The Advocate, because I was protesting that. He's done so many other things. We did this other piece where I did drag is not a crime, and I had sort of resist, and then LGBTQIA plus, and then trans lives matter on the dress. And the dress was a white sort of canvas. And we went to an event together in New York. We were at Pride of Broadway, and we had a bunch of markers, and we would go up to people and just say, "I want to show that drag is a living art. Would you be willing to write words of pride or protest? Whatever you feel you want to write on the dress, write on this dress." And I'm talking like Lorna Luft, Judy Garland's daughter, Dominique from Pose, Cynthia Nixon, Lea Salonga, voice of Mulan, like all these amazing stars wrote on this dress and wrote, things that are anti-Trump, things that are pro-trans, things that are pro-pride. And in fact, Cynthia wrote, I think it was her who wrote, "She's got your back." And she wrote it on my back. And it was like the
Oh,
coolest like moment. So the dress is just like covered. And I now I can never bring myself to wear it again because it's just like this special piece to me now. But it is one of the pieces that'll be on display at this installation that is going to benefit Naples Pride. So that's just like two big examples of like Dan's brilliance and the conversation and the thought he puts into the art that I'm going to be wearing.
well, it definitely goes to the right voice, that's for sure. And it's really funny that you mentioned the SB 13 um, law. I was recently watching a Bob the Drag Queen stand up, and he was kind of going over the law, and he said, "So let me get this straight." He goes, no kids at drag shows?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I don't know." He's like, this not be like sounding or working out in
And
like
that'd
the
be a
way
bad
that
thing. Yeah.
they think that it's working out for them, in so many ways. I mean, that joke can go 9 ways from Sunday, but, where is, visibility? Is the protest, taking place? When is it? How
Mm.
can people show up?
Yeah, so I'll have by the time you guys are just so brilliant in airing this, I'll have a wonderful link up on missbouvier.com. They can buy the tickets there. And all those tickets, the revenue just goes right to Naples Pride. I'm working right now, I'm raising $15,000 in about a 60-day window for them. And believe it or not, $15,000 is only one third of their security costs. So that tells you, for a pride that only has about 3,500 people, the city's support or lack thereof of a pride that's comparatively very small to those that you see happening around the nation. So I did a fundraiser last year. We passed the goal, so that's kind of why I sort of ticked it up to 15,000. I think we'll get there, but I really think that by displaying these pieces, hopefully it reminds people again of just like the global, well, let's say with the national crises we are having as per people right now under this administration and under, whatever party that may be. I try not to go political, but it's so hard not to in a lot of ways. I always make the joke. I say, I know there's people from the Republican Party, people from the Democrat Party. I identify with the cocktail party. And that sort of diffuses the room because they want people to feel like they can just come and enjoy the show. And hopefully, let's say there is someone who is maybe a moderate or a conservative who has come to my show. I would love for nothing more for them to leave and say, that wasn't that bad. That what's the big hoopla about? I don't understand. I would love for that moment to happen. And I know it has. So that's kind of why I try to stay away from like, I'm not here to insult you. I'm here to exist and I want to show you that we exist and we're not really going anywhere. So how can we coexist? And how can we, and usually that's through music and art and creation. And that's usually the safe space. That's usually where we can first have those conversations. And it has been for centuries.
This work is so important. And so, first, thank you, because the more that we do this, like all of us, the more that we're going to drive change. But I have to ask, like, how do you keep your spirit light? Right? How do you keep laughing? It's just, how do you keep that
I
alive when literally you're doing all these battles, right? It's so heavy.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But I have a great circle of friends.
Hmm.
I make sure I have social time. And I have a great husband. I mean, truly, Adam is he's a great man and he's funny. He knows when I've hit it too hard or I'm in it too deep enough to say like, maybe let's go out to dinner tonight. Leave the phone at home. Or like, like he's sort of intuitive that way where he's always been so supportive of. He comes from a social justice family. His sister works in the city of Chicago in social justice and is like just changed the world there in her work. And his brother-in-law also works in social justice, obviously working in nursing. Politics don't matter when you're on a hospital bed, and so he's sort of had to live with that open eye mentality. And so I think he's probably the most central person to support and keeping me light and laughing at some things when I need to.
That's so sweet, and Adam is a gem. It was a pleasure to get to know him a little bit when I was down in Fort Lauderdale. The last time you were here, you shared with us about your background in musical theater, and you have a voice that I think can peel paint off of walls in the best of ways possible. And often, we perceive drag as just a lip syncing sort of art, but you bring your live theatrical element to it, with all the great musicians that you get to support as well.
Mhm.
But do you feel like being a live singer gives you a different kind of connection or vulnerability with an audience that might be skeptical of drag?
Um, yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I live in the cabaret space. I would say, if when people ask me this very type of a question, the drag space, and there is such a cool space for the lip syncing, the impersonating. There's such a space for that. But I believe that singing for me set me into that theatrical safe space where people feel like it's different and I have to process that and I'm liking what I'm seeing and the music, the opera note moved me differently than something that I would see at a club maybe at 11 p.m. Again, spaces for both of those to exist in drag, but I do believe the singing opened up the cabaret aspect, thus the theatrical aspect and the artistic aspect a little bit. It made it easier to connect with folks quicker, and attract an audience that music is familiar, and if you're singing something uh like I Will Always Love You and it was their mom and dad's wedding song and mom has passed, there's something that clicks inside that goes takes them to a happy place. It takes them to a special place. Or if you sing the breakup song that they just got divorced, you're like, yes, I love this queen. There's just an instant like ability to relate to people because people saved the moments with those songs. They live through music. People don't even realize how much you live through music. You probably could, if I said a song like, man, I feel like a woman, you'd be like, man, I remember driving in my car with the windows down and jamming to Shania Twain, feeling like I wanted to be a woman. That was a great song. It just takes you to happy places, you know? And I think that, and props to my lip syncing queens, because I mean, they're the ones who threw the brick at Stonewall. They're the ones who were protesting, and they're doing just the same amount of work that I'm doing. I think that one of the challenges they face is constantly staying current. They have to really, really learn the newest, hottest stuff that's in the clubs right now. And that is, I'm just like,
Oh yeah.
give me Barbara Streisand, okay? Like, I'm good with that, because you
Don't
girls
make
are
me
working it.
sing.
You are
Yeah.
working it in a next level thing. So, yeah, I really believe the singing part made it a little easier to connect to people.
I mean, when we talk about connection, like you even mentioned that Miss Bouvier is everyone's favorite auntie, right? You know, and every auntie has that one piece of advice or kind of auntie-ism.
Yeah.
The one thing that we've changed since you've been here is now we call all of our fans or listeners, I don't want to call them fans, our chosen family. So if they could all sit down at a Sunday dinner with you, what's the one thing you would want them to know about claiming their space in the world, right?
If you can't choose love, you got to choose respect. And that's exactly what I said
Amen.
in my I-100. You've gotta just remember that even somebody you're hating right now is a human, is going through something, is there's so many other things. You know, I am not in love with Trump. I have very little respect for him, but I respect the office, I respect the pressures, I respect the money, and I think he's choosing the wrong things, and I get that. But I'm not sitting here death threatening him, you know, and I'm not sitting, you know what I mean? You have to understand that the human experience shapes the human execution of life. And if you can't love that experience that's coming at you, then you have to respect that was their experience, and it's not going to be something you want to be part of.
Oof, so well said. I
Hmm.
love that. If you can't love it, respect it. And I that's something I could definitely adopt into my life. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Of
And
course.
Eric, Miss Bouvier, I mean, you know, we can talk to you all day.
I know.
And we have, but, you know, we do have a little tradition here. While we do like to keep things short, we like to keep them fun. So we're going to strip away the sequins just for a second.
All right.
And we're going to hit the real this or that of it all. And it's time to enter the hot seat. We do call
Okay.
this or that, the Bouvier Beauty Edition.
Okay.
We like to tell our guests not to think, just react, and feel free to go as chosen fam as you want with it. So just go
Okay.
crazy. It's time for another round of this or that, the unhinged get to know you game. You ready?
All right.
All right. So are you going over the top wig or a 10-foot train? What do you love?
10-foot train any day.
Mm.
She likes an entrance.
I do. I do. There's just the train is like, yeah, it's fabulous always. Anywhere you pose with a train, it gives for days.
I would agree. And also, now that I'm in my 40s, Eric, an over the top wig, I think of neck pain.
You are so not wrong. You are so
Just
not
saying.
extra glue. It's so extra work. A
You
train is
know,
just an extra belt, baby. And
I'm
it comes
also
with fabulous.
I'm
Give me a
I'm
train.
I'm coming from like a purse first Bob the drag queen. This is like my Bob drag queen episode. I'm coming from like a purse first. You're like, well, train last, baby. If you're gonna be the first one in, I'm the last one out. I love
I will be the caboose, and I will be the most
that.
fabulous train you've seen.
all the things. Okay. Do you prefer scruff or no scruff?
Oh, definitely scruff.
Mm.
Definitely scruff. I like to feel it. I want to feel it in every location.
A little
Mhm.
scratch.
A
I
little
got you.
scratch. You
A little
know, I
scratch.
do. Little scruff never hurt anyone, I think. It
Tickle me.
shows it's like a masculine thing. For
It
me.
is.
It's just, you know, and that's not like a mask for mass moment. Don't come for me, people. All right. I'm just saying, but you know, obviously I'm attracted to men, and that part of that masculinity just says like, oh, okay. All
A
right.
little feel.
Yeah, yeah, just rub up right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're
Tickle me.
marking your territory, you know? Like
Scratching up on a tree over there.
totally. Totally. I'll
All
never
right.
forget my husband has to get fitted for a K95 in the hospital once a year, and he has to shave everything. he's got a great beard and goatee. So I cry like for a week and a half because there's just nothing there. And it's, health reasons.
You're like, be gone, Adam. Come to
Yeah.
me in 10
Sleep on the
days.
couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come back when you have a beard.
Next question. We're curious. Are you more of a shower or a bath kind of person?
Oh, there's something, definitely shower. I don't mind a bath, but I guess it's bath adjacent. I love a hot tub,
Ooh.
Same.
like a hot tub moment, but like a
Yes.
Plus,
bath, like sort of stewing in my own stew is like a little not, but a hot tub is like chlorine. So it's like
people have
funneling
such a
chlorine.
visceral reaction to that
Yes.
question. They're
Yeah,
like stewing in your own filth.
yeah.
And I'm
I
like,
don't need,
sign me up. It's my filth.
Yeah.
I don't need to be a Bouvier stew. I don't need that moment. I'm good with a shower.
All right, Eric, you are out tonight. You are living. Are you listening to live vocals or a flawless lip sync?
I actually really enjoy a lip sync. I really do.
Yeah.
There are some great lip sync performers in this town that I just like am such a big fan of. Like
Hmm.
from the Dollies to the Whitneys to like the Ariana Grandes. If they can dance and look and secure that, I'm like, I just throw money at it. I really do because I just have it's so not what I can do. And I give such reverence to that total lip sync. I would love to hear a lip sync.
I love a lip sync artist too because they somehow are able to use their time on stage and think differently and like really change the lyric, the meaning of the
Yes.
lyric. And that's when my favorite. When a lip syncer can change the meaning of a lyric and they're just lip singing, I'm just dead. I love it.
Or my favorite lip syncers are the ones who can put, like, let's say they're doing the lights went down in Georgia, and then in the middle they do that, and that Marjorie is the night the lights went out in Georgia. They do the
So
whole
good.
monologue. If they can nail the monologue in the middle and then go right back to the song, I'm like, you literally just take my wallet. Here's the Amex. Just buy yourself
It's a
something.
performance.
Yeah. To come on, I mean, you have to think of the brilliance of that. To come on stage and not say or sing or speak a single word and win over an audience is like brilliant. It's brilliant. Me, I have to go out there and sing Barbara Streisand 6 times, and then they might like me, but that's just, it's art. It's high drag, high drag.
I love it. In or out of drag, are you a chest guy or a butt guy?
Oh, I gotta say butt guy. I gotta say butt. Give me a good butt. In fact,
Mm.
my husband and I joke that we could totally make our millions if we could like start an Instagram that was just like booties of Wilton because we just like, ooh, look at that booty. Look at that. That could be on our Instagram. That could be our Instagram. But then that's like creepy, right? You're taking pictures of people's booties.
I
Sign here
mean,
for consent. I don't need an Epstein moment. All right.
Oh, she's right. Honestly,
literally,
no
after
doubt.
heated rivalry, though, I feel like Buckeye is like the thing now because
Mhm.
that was some good ass for 6
I am.
episodes.
Yeah. Give me the butt. Yeah. My husband and I
Yeah.
both share in that, I think.
Okay. Are you icing out a hater at your show or are you going to drag them for filth?
Oh, I'll drag for filth.
I love it.
I will tell, and it's rare, but there's been probably I think 2 or 3 times people have seen me do it. They're like, "Damn, if
Girl.
I ever make you unhappy, please let me apologize first. Don't come for me.
Don't come for a smart and sassy queen. She will
Don't
read
send
you
for
out the
me."
room. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
If you're, yeah, you have to get. I have a very very long fuse, but if you have burned that fuse out, you're about to find out.
Okay, so switching gears real quick. I don't know if we've talked about this here on the pod, but a lot of your origin story of where Miss Bouvier was born has a lot to do with the Bayou, and it's around Mardi Gras time of year. So I'm just curious, is Miss Bouvier into wearing feathers or sequin more?
You're so gonna. This is the moment that's gonna haunt me forever. Feathers. But I found out 2 years ago, I am highly allergic to all feathers. And I was like,
Stop.
"Do you know what I do for a living?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Do you know what I do?" But I still wear it. I'm very allergic,
Hyperallergenic feathers.
like truly allergic. And Dan was so he like I said, Dan, I did my allergy test and we found out like one of the things bothering me is feathers. And there was like silence
No,
on the other side of the phone.
Your
He's, like,
job.
rethinking every design he's ever made.
he's in the middle of like
Really?
sewing you a feather dress.
Oh my God. I knew this would come up one day. I said, someone's going to find out the drag queen's allergic to feathers. But
Well, you
here it
heard it here
is.
first.
But
You
I
heard it
prefer
here
feathers.
first.
Sequins are itchy. Have you ever worn
Yeah.
sequin before? They're not comfortable.
And again, going back to my neck thing, it's heavy.
It's heavy. Yes, it can be very, very heavy.
I'm so weak
Very.
these days, apparently.
You gotta
You
get
need
that
to
checked out.
send a chiropractor for him.
Oh, guys, I sneeze and I throw my neck out. I'm a lost cause. Okay,
God.
last one.
Okay.
Do you want to be remembered for being the muse or being the masterpiece?
Oh. God, that's a good one. Muse. I would like to die knowing that I inspired others and brought inspiration to other people, and that kind of has trickled out beyond my time.
Beautiful.
That's it.
said.
I would just love to be the muse. That's the
Yeah.
one. That's the one.
I love it. Miss Bouvier,
Yeah.
Eric.
That's a good
thank you for
question.
Well, listen, you're a great guest. Thank you for coming back and being an icon, an inspiration, and most importantly, a continued part of our chosen fam. The work you're doing with Visibility is the Protest is so vital. Chosen fam, if you are in Florida area the week of March 13th, you must check out her installation to support Naples Pride. Also, I will say this, even if you're not going, buy a fucking ticket,
Yep.
give your money.
Yep.
Where can everyone find you online to keep up with all the magic?
At Miss Bouvier, any social, whether that's Facebook, whether that's Instagram, Miss Bouvier with 2 E's at the end of that. So you can follow me there.
That's right. And for a lot of our phonetically challenged friends, that is MISSBOUVEE.
Yes.
Well
Thank
said.
you. Thank you for listening, chosen family. Stay loud, stay laughing, and remember, visibility is the protest. We will see you next week.
This was Out Loud and Laughing.
We're available everywhere you get your podcasts. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, iHeart, or wherever.